We're recording there. Offline. And we'll just use the last one. Can you hear that?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Hi, my name is Andrew LZ, and this is my brand new podcast called Why Cats with Andrew LZ. And I am a Phoenix area comedian who decided that, you know what, back in June of 2019, whenever I first saw the trailer for Cats, I knew this movie was going to be a disaster and I needed to talk about it. So I watched the trailer probably about 50 times, mainly because of the what's her name? Not Houston. What's her name? The main the Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson's in there, yeah. But are you talking about
her song?
Prince? Oh, okay. Memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
I needed to. I watched the trailer exclusively for that. I have a background in musical theater where I worked in set a lot. I acted sparingly, but I love musicals. And today my first guest is one of my best friends in this world. His name is Nicholas Ervin. I don't know if I should be saying his full name, but it's whatever. He's one of my best friends in the world, and he also has a background in musical theater. What did you do in junior high school, and all that?
Oh God, just too many things. I was such a nerd.
Weren't you in Winnie the Pooh?
Before it was cool. I was Christopher Robin in Winnie the Pooh. I was Frank Butler in Annie Get Your Gun. I was a character called Christopher Wren in shit. I don't even remember what it was a Neil Simon play.
Of course, half of them are.
Yeah, I was Banjo in The Man Who Came to Dinner. I did a bunch of different crap, but was still to this day am definitely into musical theater. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, mixed feelings.
Okay, and as I've said before, this podcast is not necessarily to make fun of the movie. I'm not saying we won't make fun of the movie, because it's okay if you liked parts of the movie. I mean, it's perfectly okay. I've said it before.
Your sanity should be questioned.
I've said it. I guess I've said it before. There are good performances in this movie. The movie as a whole is a steaming pile of garbage that's somehow still on fire. But this movie, I can't explain it.
True.
I'm gonna watch it.
So true.
I'm gonna watch it every once a week for an entire year. I get to take 1 week off a month, so that brings me to at least 40 times watching this movie over the course of a year. So I'm just very curious as to what's going to happen to me. So
I think there are fates worse than death, is all I will say.
Some of my favorite movies I haven't seen 40 times, and I watch a ton of movies. Like Irvin can even see behind me that I have just 2 bookcases full of just
it's fantastic
movies. I'm a bit ridiculous. I still buy physical copies because I'm an idiot. Sorry. And yeah, so okay, first thing, was there a movie that you watched after this to remind yourself what a good movie is?
Like a palate cleanser, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So I did watch this movie twice because I am.
You were inebriated the first time.
I am stupid. But after the initial passing out, there was no palate cleanser, and then after this most recent watch, I came almost directly to watch or to do this podcast with you. So many emotions, no palate cleansing whatsoever. So many thoughts.
Okay. It's a great movie, right? Yeah, you didn't need a palate cleanser.
No, I did not.
I will tell you the movie that I watched directly after this whenever I watched it this week was Happy Death Day, because I don't
So
know.
good.
It's a great movie. The sequel is good, but it's not great. It definitely takes a different kind of route than the first movie did. But I think
Mhm.
I love Happy Death Day. Like Jessica Roth is an amazing actor. I loved what she did in that movie. So and it was also just past October, so I'm still kind of in the horror mood. I watched 30 horror movies in the month of October. I couldn't
Woo.
get that 31st. It became taxing. It became a chore.
I
Um,
don't know if there are 30 horror movies that I enjoy enough
uh,
to watch.
Horror is definitely my favorite genre, so that's why I love this movie so much.
I love
But I
I
love
love horror
torturing
movies.
myself a
I
little
just
bit.
don't know. Just
Um,
don't know if there is enough out there for me to.
oh, I watched some garbage,
Well, yeah, you have to at that point.
but there were definitely some new movies I hadn't watched before that I really enjoyed. Like there was a movie that came out on Shudder that came out early October, late September. It was called Scare Me. It was a really self-contained horror movie based, Aya Cash. She was in the second season
Hmm.
of The Boys. She's in it, and
Hmm.
then the director of the movie was the other main guy, and then Chris Redd, who's on SNL. He was the third person in the movie. Actually, no, there was a
Gotcha.
fourth person. There was a taxi driver type person, but she was funny. Um, but yeah, watched a lot of terrible horror movies, but at least I got like Evil Dead, both the 80s version and 2013. I got The Thing in there. I got
I have
Halloween.
yet to watch the 2013 version.
It's a gore
I
fest.
just I cannot bring. I love
The
the
original.
original so much
Yeah, I prefer
that I
two to
have
one,
not.
but
Well, yeah, two is fantastic, and
two just does the same story, just puts it with him basically by himself and makes it a
yes,
comedy. So
and then Army of Darkness just goes full comedy at that point.
yeah,
And I'm here for it. I'm
yes,
here for it.
it's
I
Bruce
love it.
Campbell.
And Ash versus Evil Dead
Great show.
was amazing, and I wish it would have gone for longer than the seasons they gave them. I know that Rami had planned for additional seasons, but was canceled, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Um. All right. So back to Cats a little bit. Is this the worst movie you've ever seen?
No, no.
Okay.
By absolutely no means is it the worst
What's the
movie I've
worst
ever
movie
seen.
that you've ever seen?
So I wanted to watch Manos
Oh, Hands of
without
Fate. Hands of Fate.
without the commentary from the
Mystery Science.
MST3K guys.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely abhorrent.
I haven't watched Manos yet.
It is so bad. It's just awful.
I have watched Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That has that quality of nostalgia to it though, and there have been so many great like readings of it or MST3K kind of things that have been done with it that are really good. So I let that one slide, but
It's fine.
it is not good.
This is not a professional podcast, so I don't care if other people show up. So obviously, like one of my next questions was, do you like musicals? And of course you do. I mean, like my family, we grew up watching musicals. My dad's favorite movie was Hair.
Oh
So I
wow!
mean,
And
I
I
grew up.
learned something today.
Yeah, I mean he's gone now, so I mean it's not his favorite movie anymore.
Dead Dad
Car.
Club.
Oh yeah, Dead Dad Bass. Dead Dad Club. Sorry, I always bring it down. I don't care. I love my dad. He
It's
knows.
okay. It's okay.
Even though I don't like hair. But I grew up. My mom desperately wanted me to watch musicals and everything. I love ballet. My mom took me to watch ballet at least 10, 15 times growing up.
I don't mind ballet. I mean, it's definitely an art form. Musicals, I absolutely adore.
Yeah.
I love everything about them.
What's your favorite?
I have seen. I mean, The Producers is just like the actual musical version that I got to see with the Broadway cast
and I hate
on Broadway. was outstanding, and
Matthew Broderick
just
and
at Nathan Lane, yeah.
Nathan Lane.
But I don't know if it's like my absolute positive like favorite.
Mine changes. I mean, like sometimes I love Grease. I mean, if I ever see Grease on TV, I'm gonna watch.
I have to watch it. I have to watch it. It is an awful film.
Oh,
it is an awful.
Everything
film.
about it.
Everything about. They want you to believe that a 47-year-old man is an 18-year-old. I'm pretty sure. It is awful, but it is so gloriously awful.
Yeah. I love Grease. I mean, I've got where are you? Oh, that's wrong. I've got this 40th anniversary edition. That's a Rydell High yearbook.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Which is really cool. I mean, so I love musicals. So I mean, I love Grease. I mean, even modern musicals, like there's a new one that's on Hulu right now called Anna and the Apocalypse. Basically it's a zombie movie that's a musical. It's really interesting. It's pretty catchy. I think it's British or Australian, I can't remember. But it's so I mean, musicals have been a big part of my life my entire life, so same thing with you. I mean, did your parents watch a lot of musicals?
Grease was on at my house constantly growing up. And then, I mean, if you count, which I personally do, but if you count all the Disney animated films of forever, those were always on at the house. You know, Little Mermaid, Lion King, which Lion King, by the way, absolutely fantastic musical, like Beauty in person. The stage version.
My sister swears Beauty by it. She's seen it a couple times.
Aladdin, you know, all that stuff. So all of that stuff was on at all times at the house. And it's great. I mean, it's freaking fantastic. It's a part of my childhood.
Yeah. Okay, so with and like one of my other favorites is Labyrinth. Labyrinth is one of the completely composed by David Bowie, and just he kills every song.
He does.
And
Bowie was a genius, an absolute freaking genius.
And I'm still a little bit disappointed they're doing a sequel. I'll still see it. I'll still see it just because, like, I think the Henson Company is completely a part of it too. So
that's my understanding. But
what sucks about the Henson Company is that they did a new Dark Crystal TV show and it's not even getting a second season.
I know, it was really good though.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got through all of it, but it's super good.
Yeah, and amazing voice cast. It was a marvel. It's not as good as the movie because the movie is really great.
Movie is fantastic.
Which I've also got an anniversary edition of that as well.
Nice.
I love anniversary packs. So, all right. So I mean, okay. All right. With Cats, was there any songs that you happen to like? Besides Memory, I think everybody
likes Memories. You literally read my mind. Everybody loves Memories. No, just no. Like none of the songs were like
Rum Tum Tugger.
Just I hated that I enjoyed Mungo Jerry.
Okay.
A modicum.
Actually, that was not that bad. I
hated myself just because the freaking cat's name was Mungo Jerry.
Yeah. Oh my god. But the names in this movie, in this so musical.
Bad. Old Deuteronomy.
Actually, I do like that name. I don't know why. I can't tell you why.
I have thoughts on Dame Judi Dench is all I will say.
Okay. All right. Actually, let's start off. I mean, not start off. We're however long
we're like 20 minutes into the podcast. It's a good intro.
Okay. Whenever I saw this movie in theaters, because I went and saw it, and I took an edible half an hour before, and I was hoping it would kick in sometime during the movie, and it didn't. The movie was too powerful in the worst way.
So,
So I'm
so
sitting there and I'm waiting, and the first fucking song of this musical is
so
Jellicle Cats.
so my problem with, like, I don't mind starting with a song, but
No.
there is zero setup whatsoever.
No.
You are just thrown into this film,
And you're never explained what a Jellicle
nothing's
Cat
explained.
is.
Nothing is explained.
You just
There's just nothing. At 4:53, I wrote, "What is going on?" And then I put, "Why is this cat hanging upside down?" I have no idea what's going on 4 minutes and 53 seconds into the movie.
What's it called?
That's a problem. And why is he wearing a top hat?
I don't know. Some people have shoes. Some people are wearing coats. Some people are wearing fur. What is happening in this movie? Oh my God. Okay. Next time I watch this movie, I'm literally gonna count how many times they say the word Jellicle in that first song, and then
At least 173
oh my
times.
God, it's ridiculous.
It's so many. And then immediately following that, there's super creepy dancing at 11 minutes about. And are we led to believe that these are regular sized cats in a human world, even though the set makeup makes it very ambiguous at times?
Okay, the worst part is the scale changes so often.
There is no consistency in scale. So they're in like Cat Times Square with milk billboards.
Oh my God, the milk bar.
Oh,
No, okay.
and then,
I think
Rebel Wilson is in a chair, and she looks like a small child, and then she's the size of a regular cat, I guess. And it's
and I love Rebel Wilson. I actually do.
Yes.
I legitimately love Rebel Wilson, but her first scene with the rat and the cockroaches is just so disturbing.
I literally wrote, even the Jellicle Rebel Wilson looks oddly sized when introduced, and then immediately went, where are all these fucking cats from? And then immediately to, these mice are really creepy, right? Holy crap, so are the cockroaches. Like, that was my train of thought through the Rebel Wilson scenes.
And then she tears off her skin to reveal just more skin. Like she has
Nope, no idea. No clue.
It's such it's a movie that I think this I believe it's true. It's the only director, Tom Hopper, to ever win an Academy Award for Best Picture in directing and get the Razzie for Worst Picture of the Year. Because
I can believe it.
Because he won for The King's Speech. He also did Into the Woods as well, which got some nominations as well. Meryl Streep, most notably, but which also gave us James Corden's in that movie. And the thing is, in this movie, James Corden isn't bad. He isn't.
Okay, so as soon as James Corden came on the screen, I wrote down, James Corden looks like the cat version of the Penguin from the Batman comics.
Okay, he's kind of the Penguin and the Cat in the Hat combined.
Yeah. Yes.
But he's not bad. He's playing his role. He's playing his role fine, and the song he sings isn't terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's not
all the
good.
All the visuals are bad.
Awful. Nightmare Fuel. I wrote that a few times in my notes. Back up just a little bit though. I found Jason Derulo to have an amazing voice, and even his character was super charismatic in this film. However, completely wasted.
Yes.
Like, he's in one like 3-minute song, and we never see him again.
No, we do see him a little bit more.
Or do we see him a little bit more at the end and I was just having a seizure? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
We do see him a little bit more throughout, but he doesn't have a prominent role. It's literally just that one song. I have the DVD of the musical here. I eventually need to watch it. Just for reference, I hear the
And
what?
go ahead.
I hear it's pretty good. I mean, Phil Brotherton, he always, like, whenever I would go to his house growing up, his parents had the Cats DVD, and they'd never put anything up ever,
I mean, it was longest running show
ever.
in Broadway history
Yes.
ever. So, I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber is obviously a genius.
Yeah.
The man has written
Phantom.
so many fantastic and popular musicals. He legitimately is a genius. However, I don't see, like, maybe the visuals of this film version did take you out just enough to make it really shitty.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why it's the longest running show ever. I can't see it from the film version, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Have you watched the DVD
Also,
of the stage version?
I have not seen the stage version, and maybe the nuance of the stage version is better. But I know right before James Corden came out, I wrote down, why are they being so shitty to Jennifer Hudson?
Yes.
And why is she hissing weird?
Okay, and one of our collective favorite podcasts is How Did This Get Made? And they recently did Cats. And I will say, I have been planning on this podcast for over a year. So I'm not stealing from them. It's on my Instagram from like almost a year ago. If somebody will buy me the movie Cats, I will watch it every week for an entire year. So, which I'm doing now. But I do have the stage musicals right here. I'm eventually going to watch it. It looks awful. And I don't know. But okay, back to Jennifer Hudson though, like you were saying, with why are they being so shitty to her the entire
There's no
she was a musical
given.
cat. That's what her job was. She was a theater cat, wasn't she? I can't remember.
I think so.
But How Did This Get Made brought up, why is she snotty the entire runtime?
No clue.
Does she have snot all over her top lip?
Is she just crying so much, so frequently that she is just awful at all times?
I guess. I mean, that's the only explanation, right? It's the only explanation that she's been crying.
I've watched this twice.
Constantly.
I watched it twice, and I have no
She's
reason
been crying
behind
constantly,
it.
begging for death, right? And that's exactly what what's it called? What's the term that they
Memories?
use? No. What's the term that they use the
term that they used for her?
No, for like the contest that everybody's trying to win is
the Jellicoe. It's a like Dame Judi Dench is selecting the Jellicoe cat.
Yeah, to go to where I can't. I've only watched this movie once since last December, so I apologize for being rusty. It's only going to come more to me over the course of this podcast. But for me, I love. I was going to watch this movie anyway. I love bad movies. I've watched bad movies my entire life. I can't tell you how many times I've watched the Super Mario Brothers movie growing up.
Oh, such a great bad film.
Oh, so bad. It
makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Odd story. The character of Koopa is based on Donald Trump.
No, yeah. Dennis Hopper, the character he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can definitely tell.
Yes.
Which is God, can't wait for January 20th.
Yeah.
Never hear that guy's name again except for going to prison. So do you like bad movies?
I love bad movies. B movies or just bad like 80s movies are my jam.
Yeah.
There were so many.
What's your favorite bad
movies
movie
made in the 80s?
Because I can answer mine immediately.
Man,
it's so bad. Mine is.
I want to hear yours first.
Howard the Duck.
Okay, so I don't believe Howard the Duck is a bad movie.
It is though. It
It's not
is.
though.
It
It's
is, and I
not.
love it. I love it for it. I love it being a bad movie. It's the first
I've
Marvel
watched
movie
that
of all
movie
time.
so I've watched that movie so many times.
Yeah,
Um and I love it. I love it so
it's so
much.
bad though.
But
And
it's
Leah
not. It's
Thompson
not.
at the end has sex with a duck,
I,
and he's somehow their manager, and they're singing a song called Howard the Duck at the end. Come on.
it's synergy, man.
And
It's
then
synergy.
Jeffrey, whatever his last name is, pedophile guy.
Yes. From Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got the movie here.
Yep.
I'm just pulling out movies and showing them to you like I'm a child. Jeffrey Jones.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Jones. Though
He's
great actor, great at what he did. Pedophile. It's kind of like, I don't know.
So
Never meet your heroes.
no, never, ever, ever meet your heroes. God. Be like meeting Chevy Chase.
Oh God.
Ugh.
I would never want to meet that guy. I just want to enjoy his movies from the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I absolutely agree.
Vegas Vacation, good bad movie.
Yes, that is a good bad movie, not my favorite bad movie. So if we're talking about Chevy Chase and my favorite bad movies, Chevy Chase is actually a part of my favorite bad movie. Little film with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and Demi Moore. You know which movie I'm talking about?
Nothing But Trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Candy is also in that film.
I haven't watched that movie in years.
John Candy plays multiple roles in the film. Basically,
Dan Aykroyd
a female
plays multiple
version.
roles, right?
Yes, he does.
He directed it. I think it's the only movie he ever directed.
Yes, it is the only movie he's ever directed, and it is
so bad.
Really bad. It is. Yeah. But if I ever see it on, I have to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just have to.
See, I do love bad movies. You just named three. I forgot Demi Moore was in it. How do I forget that? And I know bad movies. I own a ton of them because I love bad movies. I mean, it's been talked about to death, but the Sleepaway Camp is actually, you know what? That's not a bad movie. I can't say it's a bad movie. It's just a weird movie. The mother is insane in that movie. Have you ever seen Sleepaway Camp?
I have not. I have not.
I need to. My God. If I can give you an assignment at all, watch
Is it on Amazon?
It might be. If it's on Shudder, I'll give you my password.
Okay.
Because the mother in that, she's only in 2 total scenes, and chewing the scenery, like she destroyed the scenery. She ate it to pieces. She was like a swarm of super termites. Okay.
Oh God.
It's amazing.
I'll tell you who else was a swarm of super termites, and that was Idris Elba.
Oh my God. We haven't even talked about Idris Elba.
So at first I wrote down way back at the beginning of the film in loose terms, Idris Elba plays Idris Elba in this film. Every role that he's ever had, he is. I love Idris Elba.
Yeah,
let me preface
amazing
this.
actor. Amazing.
I absolutely love Idris Elba. I love him in Luther. I love him in stuff like freaking Fast and the Furious, which was just
I haven't watched any
popcorn film. This was not a great role for him.
No.
Just not good.
Okay, Idris Elba throughout this entire movie, because clearly, like they brought it up on other shows, he's known throughout the human world, because in that first opening scene, there's a big billboard in the background that says "Wanted" for everything.
So that's why I brought up are we to believe that we are in a cat world, like cats are human sized and in a cat world, or that we're in a human world where cats are just ambiguously sized, because it made it seem like that was basically quote unquote cat Times Square, and the cats were looking for him. But I'm so confused because the rest of the film made it seem like they were in a human world. And why do the humans care about this piece of shit cat?
Yeah. What did he do? What has
What
he
did
done?
he do?
What could he have done as a magical cat?
Oh my god!
There's magic in this movie.
At minute 39, I wrote down, why the fuck is Idris Elba using magic?
There's 2 people who use magic in this movie.
Yeah.
Technically 3 if you think of old Deuteronomy at the very end.
He literally teleports somewhere. He
to a dock.
Freaking...
or a barge on a dock. And he can take people with him. Oh my god, this movie.
So can we hypothesize that this film takes place in the Harry Potter universe,
where they can apparate?
And they can apparate and disapparate at will,
but not to Hogwarts grounds. Oh, sorry.
Exactly, but they're basically, what I'm saying is Idris got a letter for Cat Hogwarts at some point.
No, he's Crookshanks. There we go. Figured it out. We got it.
Solved it.
Okay. Is there anything
we are
more?
Only 39 minutes into a 110-minute film.
Okay.
And I
asked
still
you,
have no idea what's going on.
I did ask you one thing to do. How many times did you check the time code?
Overall, or up to this point?
Because
I kept it
overall.
Overall, I checked the time code 17 times.
Yeah. And that's all in the first hour.
17 times I moved the remote slightly just to see how far in I was in.
Okay, because the first 20-something minutes feel like the movie. It feels like that should be the length of this movie.
Once I got to 40, like at the 23-minute mark, I took a short break on my second viewing because I needed to take a short break. At the 45-minute mark, I noticed I was getting real bored, real not able to pay attention as much as I had been the first 44 minutes.
In the first 30 minutes,
a longer break.
In the first 30 minutes, there are 6 numbers.
Oh,
that's way too much. That's too much.
Way too much.
I think they talked about it. There's only like 5 conversations in this entire movie. Everything else is music.
So Andrew Lloyd Webber actually wrote a few additional numbers for this version.
Well, I know the Taylor Swift song is made for this movie just because they were trying to get the Oscar nomination for Best Original Song.
I didn't even recognize it was Taylor Swift. I'd like to state that for the record. And I love me some T Swift.
I do love Taylor Swift.
Yeah, just too much packed into that first 45 minutes. That was a rough 45 minutes.
About the first hour is the worst time of your life, but the last 45 minutes go by pretty quick. I will say that.
Yes,
you just have to get through that first hour.
Now there is a lull in the middle, like there's about a 10-minute lull. I did write down at minute like 43-ish, Dame Judi Dench looks like Santa Claus dressed as a furry. What is she got going on, man?
Well, do you know the whole story about her in the Cats?
About old Deuteronomy?
No, the original stage play.
No.
Okay, so whenever Cats was coming to the West End, she was supposed to be in it. And she broke her ankle, I believe, a week or two before.
Best thing that ever happened to her.
A week or two before opening night. And so she had to drop out. And so this was her comeback. She wanted to be in this because she didn't get to be on it on the West End.
Oh, Dame Judi Dench.
Okay, let's talk about some of these people in this movie. We have Dame Judi Dench, Sir Ian McKellen, Idris Elba, Idris Elba.
James Corden.
James Corden, tremendous musical background. Who else is in this movie?
Why is Ray Winstone in this film?
Wait, is Ray Winstone in this movie?
Yes, he's Grow Tiger.
Oh my God.
Why is Ray Winstone in this film?
Are you sure?
I am 100%
There he is. Oh my God.
positive.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, he's only in 2 scenes. He has 1 speaking role. He has 1 line.
Once he mispronounces the River Thames.
Yeah.
And
okay, that was funny. That was funny because James
James Corden's head. And that, but more to the point, why is Ray Winstone in this film?
I don't know. And then you have some great musical, you have great music artists like Jason Derulo and Taylor Swift. Yeah. Rebel Wilson's a big star. I mean, she's actually probably the one person I'm not surprised that would accept a role in this movie.
Rebel seems like she just does whatever the hell she wants, and I'm totally there for it.
Yeah, and she's gotten her kind of life a little bit more on track too. I don't know if you've heard that. She's lost a lot of weight. She's drinking less or no more. I don't know. But I love but she got tired of just being cast as the fat girl.
Gotcha.
But I mean,
I think she is. She is just a comedic genius.
Yeah, she's a comedic force. Like even in the movie Bridesmaids, she was in 1 scene with Matt Lucas, who's also a genius comedian, where they're her roommates and they're just disgusting. I love Rebel Wilson. I'll support her as long as she's a good person. So, what she seems like.
So the main character, Victoria, she's played by Francesca Hayward. Yeah, I do not recognize her from much of anything, and unfortunately, I fear that Cats is going to be the thing that keeps her from being in anything else.
Beautiful dancer, though. Holy crap, the girl can dance.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, great dancing. I will give you that. However, because of the way the CG was done, and the way that they were trying to mimic the movement of cats,
they went to cat school.
It is also super fucking freaky and creepy throughout the entirety of the film.
Yeah,
they spent super
like
creepy
2 weeks with a movement coach, and they called it cat school. Obviously some people did less than others, which they were better. Like Idris,
I'm gonna say Idris did not care about cat school.
James. But the main character, Victoria, who's portrayed by Francesca Hayward, amazing dancer. She has a beautiful speaking voice too. But my God, this movie. Oh, and I will say I did like what's the other magical cat, Mr. Mistopheles. I actually really will say I loved his song.
He was like the lone bright spot in this film.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I keep going back to, why is Ray Winstone in this film?
I know, but we just have to slowly forget about Ray Winstone being in this movie.
But no, you are right. That and like I said, I love the name Mungo Jerry.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the song or the accent of Mungo Jerry. I thought his accent was the worst accent in this film by far.
I mean, but this movie has such great, terrible names: Bustopher Jones, Old Deuteronomy.
Old Deuteronomy is
Rum Tum Tugger.
I forgot about Rum Tum Tugger. That's Jason Derulo, I believe, is it?
Yeah. McCavity. The main kind of companion throughout the entire movie that's not what's his name? That's not Mr. Mistopheles. His name is Munko Strap. I don't ever think we hear his name.
I don't think we ever hear his name because I kept going, who the hell is this guy?
But he's
throughout
good.
the
I imagine
entire-
the guy's great on Broadway. I imagine the guy is a killer on Broadway. But this,
I'm sure. This movie, not so much.
yeah. There's a classical name, Demeter, a very old name.
I mean, you gotta have some names.
Plato and
Oh, there's
Socrates.
Socrates, I believe.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Socrates. But they're the two ones who have the converse on. Plato and Socrates. What else? Rumple Teaser. Mungo Jerry.
Oh God.
Jenny,
like I said,
what's her
love
name?
the name.
Rebel Wilson.
Hate.
Jenny Any Dots.
When she started eating those cockroaches,
Oh my God, I'm so
I just was like,
What's happening,
what are we
guys?
doing here? Also, are we to believe that she was keeping these mice for her own entertainment and making them dance for her?
Yes, that's it. What is that in the stage play? Is that in the stage play? Very curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess we'll find out next week on the podcast. But I think what's her name? Taylor Swift's character is completely made for the show. I think it's Bomba Lurina. Never heard that one before. But yeah. And then Grisabella is Jennifer Hudson. But okay, we can talk about Jennifer Hudson's singing in this movie.
Jennifer Hudson has a beautiful freaking voice. She could sit there and sing the freaking instructions to hooking up your router and it would be beautiful. But this role did not do her any good whatsoever.
But hearing her sing Memories is the price of admission.
Oh yeah.
I'd pay $7 to just listen to Jennifer Hudson in a room just sing Memories once and then just walk out immediately after.
I'd watch it at the Dollar Theater.
What was the most stirring part of this movie for you?
Okay, so it's a tie. It is a tie.
Okay.
First was the first seeing Dame Judi Dench, and like I said, she looked like Santa Claus dressed as a furry.
Okay.
The other was just Idris Elba going from trench coat, hat wearing cat to all of a sudden he's just naked.
Yeah, that was my
like he's just naked.
It's Idris Elba without the jacket and without the hat. It was
so weird.
Something was so wrong about it.
I don't know why it was wrong. I just know it was.
Yeah.
An honorable mention at around the 137, 138 mark. Judi Dench keeps looking at the camera. She's
breaking the
Ferris
fourth wall.
Buellering.
Yeah.
And breaking the fourth wall. And I just wrote down, what the fuck is she doing
for so
over
long.
and over again?
For so long.
And then the entire song.
And then they go back to singing and then she does it again.
Comes back just straight in the camera.
What I want you to do is, okay, if you promise to watch this movie again, will you come back on the show?
Absolutely.
Eventually. What I want you to do next time is whenever she's talking into camera, there's 3 cats around her. There's Mr. Mistopheles, there's Victoria, and then the one guy.
The other guy, yeah. The other.
Watch
companion.
them because they're trying to get reactions out of each other, but sometimes the other person isn't paying attention. So they're just like, they look at them, they're trying to get a reaction, and they go back to just giving up on the scene.
Jesus.
And okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. What was your?
There are
what
2
what
cuts.
creeped you out the most?
There's 2 cuts of this movie. There's one cut.
Are we talking about the butthole cut?
No. The butthole cut is a myth that people just ran with, and then now there's
It's
videos on the internet.
it's an urban legend, much like Candyman. And if you say butthole cut in the mirror 3 times,
5 times. I'm gonna say 5 times.
5 times, Jennifer Hudson appears behind you and and snots all over you.
I was gonna say Jenny any dots comes in and you shrink to the size of a cockroach. You have to dance first, and then she eats you.
Then she rips your skin off,
Oh,
and
God.
you have regular skin still. So okay, 2 cuts.
Okay, there's 2 cuts. There's the version that they put out early because they needed to get it out into theaters to make it available
The
for
cut
Oscar
for
submission.
award season. Yeah.
Yes. And then a week and a half later, they sent every theater that had bought a copy of the movie a patch, but it still didn't fix everything. If you look during that scene where Deuteronomy is talking directly into camera, you can see her wedding ring on her unrendered hand.
Maybe she's a married cat.
Sure, because throughout the rest of the movie, it's not there.
Gotcha.
And then, so there's a movie where they didn't edit out people's shoes, and then eventually they just kept the shoes in for some people, and then just didn't for others. And apparently, and I feel bad because making fun of this movie, and that also because the people who worked on the CG on this movie were working like 60 to 70 hour weeks working on this movie because they had to make so many last minute changes. And whenever James Corden and Rebel Wilson were on at the BAFTAs, I believe, and they made fun of Cats when they were presenting, and then a bunch of the graphic artists got mad at them. You guys made a bad product. I get you spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
You made a bad product.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, your source material is garbage, but yeah,
just made a terrible product.
Just own up to it. They're making fun of the movie because they're like, you know what? Yeah, we know this isn't a good movie.
So the estimated budget is somewhere between 95 and 115 million dollars.
Okay.
This grossed worldwide $73.8 million.
Oh my
In
God.
America, it only brought in 23 or 30. Was it 35? I thought it was $23 million.
I was guessing.
No, $23 million.
Ugh, this movie.
So this is the absolute definition
of
a big budget bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie. It's so enjoyable.
Which I feel in my bones now that I have watched it twice. So I think what sums up my feeling the most, because I found myself going to and from IMDb to see the actors because the CG was so bad. I was having difficulty figuring out who the hell was who outside of Idris Elba, Judi Dench, and like James Corden and Rebel Wilson, I guess.
Yeah.
The first review on IMDb's website was, "This is what I see during sleep paralysis."
I agree.
And I cannot agree more than that. I that is just perfect.
Oh, okay. So Judi Dench in 81, for the London stage production, she was supposed to play the roles of Jenny Any Dots and then also Grisabella. So she was going to be doing one week and then the next week. But yeah, she had an Achilles tendon injury that forced her to withdraw. So yeah.
Turf Monster got her, man.
Turf Monster. I tried to explain the Turf Monster to my sister the other day because it was that Daniel Jones run. You remember a couple weeks ago where he just it was like an 80-yard run and he tripped.
I think Griswelda came out and took him down.
And my sister asked me what happened. I said, "Oh, Turf Monster," and she's like, "That's not a thing." I was like, "There's hundreds of documented cases of the Turf Monster."
It's absolutely a thing. It is 100% a thing.
Yeah, I try to explain that to her. But out of 10, what would you give this movie? I give it a solid 3. I'll give it 4 just because I like the dancing.
Like a 2.5.
Yeah, be honest with yourself, man. Don't
There
don't don't
was, I
don't
mean,
go easy.
like a 2.5, I think. Outside of liking the name Mungo Jerry and
It's the real saver for this movie.
and having a good laugh at times. I mean, there were
Okay,
not purposeful laughs. They were not laughs meant for this movie.
can I tell you what I think was the funniest line in this movie?
Yeah, I would love to hear it.
It's Judi Dench.
Was she
Oh,
staring
pussy.
it deep into your? Oh,
Just listening to
oh.
Judi Dench say in this most sincere way possible, "Oh, pussy." It was great. And then
Like it's not a pretty word as is.
yeah. And
Hearing
then
the woman's been knighted.
yeah.
Okay, she's Dame Judi Dench.
Yeah.
She should not have to be subjected to looking at the camera and saying, "Oh, pussy." Like that's just.
And then there's a line that Taylor Swift says, which apparently I didn't know this, but apparently Taylor Swift is probably British in this movie because
Probably.
whenever after her song, that's when Idris Elba shows back up in the movie and he's trying to win the contest. He's trying to,
And he's naked.
yes. And then he says, you, and Judi Dench says to him that he has no soul. And then randomly out of nowhere, Taylor Swift
he
in a
has
British
tons
accent.
of soul.
He's got soul, just with the weirdest British accent. And I love Taylor Swift.
So bad.
But it was not great.
Life, man. No, it was not.
All right.
Just,
so,
the spectacle of this film summed up in one line, really. Oh, pussy.
All right. Like obviously you're not a comedian, so like I imagine you don't have anything to plug. But with
come see me at the Joe's Crab Shack every other Wednesday.
our hometown doesn't have a Joe's Crab Shack. Which one?
I mean, the one in St. Louis is gone too.
Any
so.
of them. I'll be there. Just be there on a Friday night at 8:30 specifically.
No, what I will plug to anybody and everybody who listens to this,
eventually,
do what Dr. Fauci tells you. Wear a mask, socially distanced, outside better than inside.
Absolutely.
Stay away from crowded areas. Don't go out to eat. Wash your hands. Use your common sense. Be safe. This thing is getting extremely bad, and it's gonna get worse. So be safe and do what you're supposed to. That's what I'm gonna plug.
And if and I apologize because I did not bring this up. Nicholas, one of the best people I know on this planet. What exactly is your title? What are you?
I am a palliative care nurse practitioner.
Okay. So
I do like end of life care and things of that nature.
But you've been a nurse for how long?
I've been in healthcare for almost 15 years now.
And a nurse practitioner for how long?
For about 3.
Yeah. So I mean, whenever I have any kind of questions, I don't consult my doctor because I don't have one because I'm a comedian. So I talk to my best friend Nicholas Ervin. We talk daily. He's the person I go to the most. I don't know if you want to shout out like your socials, like your Twitter, if you want.
You can find me on Twitter at Superman_Papa. I use Twitter way too much, but you'll find me there. Superman's_Papa. And then
usually giving pretty good medical and political stuff. So
sage advice. I do not have Facebook. I rarely use Instagram, but
I wouldn't worry about those.
You could
But
find me on Instagram at any Ervin or in Ervin 23.
yeah. All right. I will. Nick, what's the movie that you're going to watch soonish to
as a
rid yourself of
palate
this?
cleanser.
Yes.
I am probably going to watch Palm Springs
Oh,
on
I actually
Hulu.
just rewatched that.
I need to rewatch it. I watched it the day it came out,
Same here.
and I had to. For some reason, I can't remember why, I had to start and stop a lot.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to rewatch that. Andy Samberg is. I just got finished with a Brooklyn Nine-Nine rewatch.
Nice.
So kind of in an Andy Samberg mood. So Palm Springs is going to be on deck.
Christina Miliotti's great in that.
Fantastic.
J.K. Simmons, very small, sparingly used in that movie, but used to perfection.
Smart casting though. Casting in that film.
That first scene with Christina Milioti sitting at the wedding and then just Andy dancing to her is classic. Mm-hmm. I think that's.
So I did hear in an interview on another podcast that originally Palm Springs was supposed to be a theatrical release. It was a Lonely Island Hulu partnership, and it was going to be released in theaters and then exclusively on Hulu after theatrical release. But because of the pandemic, Lonely Island decided to just go ahead and release it on Hulu and give us all the ability to watch it. So I think that's kind of cool.
Do you know the story of how that movie was sold at Sundance?
I knew it was sold at Sundance. I do not know the story behind it.
Okay, so last year at Sundance, whenever it was being shopped for a studio and before Hulu bought it, it became the highest grossing sale at Sundance in history.
Oh, wow.
So basically, whenever Hulu came to the production, they said, all right, hey, we're going to give you this much, which I can't remember how much they paid for it, which was the equivalent to the highest sale ever. Mm-hmm. So Andy and Yorma, who were the two representatives there, mm-hmm. said, okay, let us think about it for just a second. And they went back for like 15 minutes and they came back and said, can you add 69 cents? So it is, yeah, it's like 11 million or whatever and 69 cents.
Oh, that's great. Oh.
It's a very Lonely Island thing to do.
That is a very Lonely Island thing to do.
Which Andy and Yorma are so great, and why can't I think of the third guy? He's the less on camera.
Well, all I know is if you can't go back and watch those SNL digital shorts, and laugh your ass off, even in 2020, how shitty it's been, then you have no soul, because those digital shorts
are amazing,
are just fantastic, and it definitely shows a clear evolution of their comedy, to where they are today. But
absolutely. So yeah, Palm Springs. That's going to be the recommendation. It's on Hulu right now. And like I said, Ervin, if I'm going to give you one recommendation, I know it's on Shudder. Watch Sleepaway Camp because it's 100. Like I said, as a horror movie from the 80s, not bad. It just has the most ridiculous ending of all time, but
have to watch it.
It has the greatest acting performance I've ever seen by the mom, but because it's so bad. So, all right,
I will have to watch it.
That's me. My name has been Andrew LZ. This is my best friend Nicholas Ervin. This has been Why Cats, and I'll see you next week with comedian Dana Wisson. So I really look forward to talking with her about this. It's been a great time talking to my best friend, because we don't usually talk as much. It's usually through text. So
yes. It was definitely good. We'll have to do this again sometime in the near future. Maybe not about cats.
Oh yeah, I'm paying for Zoom now, so I mean I might as well. So
it's just a delightful video conference time.
Yeah. All right, man. I will talk to you later. Stay on the and this is I'll see you next week with more Why Cats. All right. I'll see you guys.
Peace.
Go ahead and stay on.
Oh, Cats. What just a terrible, terrible film.